Welcome everyone. This is the Feel Good Podcast channel where we tackle society's moments. We talk about everything. We talk about the trending topics, basically anything and everything. I know that you will like what we have for you, and today our topic is on depression. Depression is when you feel low. There's a thin line between being depressed and actually just being sad. With me today, I have Pastor T, aka the Rabbi. He'll help me break down the topic so that you get more insight on what depression is. Then you can actually get to tell the difference between just being sad and being depressed. Pastor T, hi, how are you?
Hi Clara, how are you doing?
I'm very fine. Thank you very much for joining me on my first podcast. I'm very excited and I hope you will help me break down my topic.
Indeed, I'm actually more excited because I'm the one who's honored to be selected and chosen to open up the podcast, the Feel Good Podcast. I'm feeling good.
That's
actually.
nice. That's the aim. You all have to feel good after this podcast.
Yeah.
So, Pastor T, what are your thoughts on depression? Because I understand people mistake being sad for being depressed and vice versa.
Yeah, actually, it's like you said, it's a very thin line between sadness and depression, meaning that it can either be sadness or depression, or it could be one and the same thing for most of us.
All right.
However, depression is the prolonged sadness
Right.
caused by focusing on the bad situation that would have happened on you.
Right.
And when you stick in it, and we use the word meditate,
All right.
people think that meditation is done by monks and Christians and all of that, but everybody does meditate. So basically, what is meditation? When you think on something and focus your mind on something for a long time, that's meditation. So if you focus and you meditate on a sad part that has troubled you, then it will lead you into depression, because depression is a prolonged meditation of sadness.
All right. So basically, you're saying that being depressed, what I understood from what you said, when we say one is depressed, it's a prolonged feeling where you just feel irritable and you just have a negative cloud around you.
Exactly.
Right.
So we have this cloud that is following you and you just can't shake it off. Yeah, that's depression.
Right. So I understand that there are 3 stages of depression. It can start off as a low mood where you just feel sad because something is just not going on for you.
Yeah.
Then you get where it's mild depression. The sadness goes on too long and it just gets hard to get out of the sad mood.
Yeah.
Then major depression is now when you're miserable. You feel empty, you feel numb, and everything just seems to be on a standstill. Now, can you please just help us understand what really then pushes a person into being depressed, the causes?
Well, the causes are quite a lot, because look, life brings you sad issues.
True.
And it's how you deal with these sad issues. Society has had a problem where we are so secluded and removed from people. Social media makes us seem and feel like we're close to people, but we're actually alone.
That's
to a great extent. So that in itself is a great contributor to a lot of depression. So like you say, the 3 stages, it's just the beginning of a sad moment. Somebody has passed away and you're missing them. I mean, death does happen. It's not the first time death is happening around us. So now somebody has passed away and I'm mourning them. I'm sad.
Right.
Then I get to a point where now I'm continually thinking how life should have been if they have been around. And now I'm getting into mild depression because I keep thinking about the empty space. They have left me and I want them here. But this is not the first person who has died, and neither are they going to be the last person.
That's very true.
Yeah.
We get
So
lost.
you can't stop death. And since you can't stop death, however, somebody then now thinks, what could I have done to stop this death?
Right.
And they start focusing on all the things they did wrong.
So basically, we can say it's a cycle. We start with a situation.
Yes.
You lose a relative. Then you go on to having thoughts, negative thoughts. Then we move on. We now start getting emotions, sadness, despair, emptiness, anxiety.
Yeah.
Then the physical state, you start having poor sleep, low energy, appetite changes. Then the actions, you start withdrawing yourself from people.
Yeah.
Reduced activity, poor self-care. So it's like a cycle.
It's a whole cycle.
Right.
It's a whole cycle.
Right. So how then does one try to, say I'm depressed. How would you communicate with me? How would you help me get out of that situation?
Well, first things first is to try and fit myself into your space.
Right.
It might not be easy because already you are withdrawing from me anyway and everybody. Right. So I need to find a way to constantly be around you. And the moment I am constantly around you, I become the new constant, because now you had nothing around you, and I'm then able to start talking to you about what it is that you are focusing on, what is it that is eating you, and I find a way to replace the empty space in you with something.
Right. Also, when people try to talk people out of those situations, I think the mistake that people make is you don't even understand what the person is going through. So it's best you try not to know better than them. You need to actually be there to just listen, because sometimes you don't know what to say. So I think people should just be there to listen to people talk.
Exactly. We have two words in English.
Yes.
Sympathy and empathy.
Right, exactly.
People think it's the same thing, but it's not. If I'm sympathizing, I am sad for you. But if I'm empathizing, I'm sad with you.
Right.
So I'm feeling what you're feeling. So people think that sympathizing with a person it helps a person that is in depression. No. You need to find where they are and feel what they are feeling for you to be able to pull them out. If you are just coming and say, you're just playing it out. I mean, after all, who doesn't have relatives who have died? The effect it had on me is what you first need to understand for you to be able to pull me out.
People say depression is a white people problem.
You see, that's another thing. Mtema can't go through depression, and that's a lie.
Yes, that's
we all go through depression. In fact, we actually think that a black person who is depressed is a bewitched person.
Wow. Right. Unfortunately, that's the only time that we had for you today. I know you will like what we had for you today, and I'm hoping that you will subscribe and stay tuned. Thank you. Pastor T, do you have anything to leave our guests with?
Look, I mean, we've just barely touched the full aspect of it. This was more of an appetizer. So, surely go and subscribe and ring the bell on our YouTube channel so that you can get the notification when we're back on. We're going to follow through this and try and help each other so that we come out of depression. Maybe it's you who's going to be depressed, or maybe it's your neighbor, or it's your loved one who might be depressed. And this is definitely going to be something that will help you how to get out of it, or help that person get out of it through you.
Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned. We'll be looking forward to our next podcast next Friday.